Welcome! If you're watching this presentation, then you're about to embark upon an exciting adventure exploring new territory as you support high school seniors to embrace community health. My name is Liana Gefter, and I'm a physician and former teacher in an underserved school, and I'm thrilled to be with you virtually at least as a guide helping prepare you for your adventure. In the 12th grade program of the Health Career Academy, you'll train and support high school seniors as they assess the health of their community, determine community assets, and ultimately create a school health fair based on these assessments and community partnerships. Now, if this task seems daunting to you, that means you're paying attention. But I promise that by the end of these 2 preparation videos, you'll feel better prepared to tackle the adventure. So here's your parachute. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about some of the core public health principles behind the program development, and in the next video, details about implementing the program. The goal is not to provide a comprehensive review of public health principles or program implementation. We just want to get everyone on the same page as best we can in a timely manner. So before we delve in, I want to make sure that you've seen the first 3 minutes of Ernesto Ciroli's TED Talk called Want to Help Someone, Shut Up and Listen. If you haven't, please pause and go to the link and watch it because it's key to this presentation. If not, let's proceed. I want to start by introducing the concept of community-based participatory research, CBPR, because it's the core principle from which this 12th grade program developed. Since you've seen the Ciroli TED Talk, you already understand the concept of the importance of listening to and working with community members in order to make any community project successful. You have to find out about the hippos. Within the research world, there is now a growing understanding of the importance of partnering with community members, emphasizing the importance of researchers and community members' shared decision-making and ownership of research projects, with the goal of designing and conducting more relevant and meaningful research in the community. The notion of CBPR not only stems from a desire to conduct higher-level research in communities, but it seeks to move away from past historical injustice in which research participants were often undervalued or mistreated, and in which researchers often abandoned the community as soon as their research project was complete. CBPR also stresses the goal of creating sustained improvements for community members. So, how does this pertain to medical service projects to this work? Well, traditionally, the way medical service projects work is that a very well-meaning and altruistic medical professional wants to go out into the community, perhaps to underserved schools, and make a difference. And by the way, I include myself in this group. This medical professional has lots of knowledge and lots of ideas of ways to help. He or she may create all kinds of interesting programs to implement at the schools, and a lot of time and energy is expended making this happen. And likely, the program has some positive impact, but ultimately these programs do not succeed because you have to account for the hippos. As Ernesto Ciroli says, until program development stems directly from community input, there is little chance for success. So, taking this into account, what if this well-meaning altruistic medical professional started instead by going into the community and listening and figuring out the best way to utilize his or her time and resources to support efforts that community members deem important and relevant? That's what we're trying to do with this program. In order to make this effort work, medical professional volunteers must possess a high level of cultural humility. Cultural humility is a term I like better than cultural competence because I believe that one should never feel confident in understanding another's culture. Rather, cultural humility reflects a lifelong commitment to self-evaluation and critique and openness to listening to and learning from others to better understand their experience. Cultural humility stresses the importance of redressing power imbalances and developing mutually beneficial and non-paternalistic partnerships. So part and parcel with the concepts of CBPR and cultural humility is the idea of co-learning. For our purposes, we can think of co-learning as a collaborative learning process in every interaction in which people capitalize on one another's resources and skills to advance their knowledge and understanding. It requires a belief that every person, regardless of educational background or circumstance, has something to teach us. In this project, hopefully, you will be co-learning as you work with the high school seniors to better understand their experiences and support them in their community health assessment and health fair project. Lastly, I want to talk about the idea of community asset identification because it's a key feature of the program. I really love the idea of community asset identification because it's a positive approach, a hopeful alternative to focusing on a community's problems and needs. Asset identification focuses attention on the things or people that are working for the community and provides a positive foundation from which the community can move forward. It could be extremely depressing for our high school students, if we go in and ask them to talk about all the problems in their community. Instead, asset identification is a way to focus on what is working in the community, what individuals or organizations are actively helping the community, what places, activities, or cultural resources are benefiting the community, and what additional community factors have potential to be assets. So the health fair culmination of the 12th grade program could represent a showcase of community assets that exist or have the potential to improve the health of the community. Community asset identification is no easy task, and it's important to realize that your high school student partners may have never encountered this idea and may be resistant to it. If by the end of the program, however, students have at least grasped and begun to embrace the concept, then I would consider it a great step in empowering them to become community health leaders. Okay, congratulations. You've now completed part 1 of the 12th grade program training video. Thanks for watching. Next up is part 2, where I'll talk about program logistics.